What is a region? Places that have similar characteristics that make them different from surrounding areas. So you remember that first map? Think back to that first map when we saw mountains. We saw the Great Plains. We saw some more mountains, okay? So our country is broken up into regions because each section is different, okay? Okay, so what are some things that might define a region? What do we think? What might make one part of the country so special or different than the other part? Does anybody have a guess? What do you think, Zoria? Okay, anybody else? Jay? Appalachian Mountains. Very good. Those are some things. So if you have one area that has a lot of mountains and it's all in the same area and it has similar weather, that can define one region. Okay? So the area that has the Appalachian Mountains, that can be one region. An area that has the Great Plains, that can be another region. Does that make sense? You guys all get that? Understand? Good. Okay, so here's another map. I know a lot of maps, but I just want you guys to get the idea here, okay? So this map, it says, I know it's kind of hard to see, but right here it says the Rocky Mountains, okay? Yeah. Over here, Appalachian Mountains. Now you see that? The Great Plains would be in this area. The deserts would be down here, okay? Okay, so now here's another map, but there's nothing labeled. You see how they're all broken up? You see these dark lines? Those are the different regions, okay? So this would be considered the western part of the United States. This would be considered the southwestern part. And where we live, does anybody know what it's called where we live? Denaya? Good guess. Dakota?
Midwest.
The Midwest. So we live in the Midwest because it's in the middle of the country and it's kind of over west, okay? And then, can anybody guess what this is called, Milton?
Southeastern.
Southeastern, very good. And then there's one more region up here. It's a little section. What do we think, Penny?
Northern. Northeast.
Northeast. Okay, very good. Nice guesses, you guys. Okay, so another really good map. Okay, so this has a little bit more pictures on it. So we got some mountains, we got the deserts down here. What do you think these hay bales stand for?
Fields.
Fields, right? What did we say those were called? Tia? The Great Plains, right? Okay, and then those of you that went to Florida, why do you think that there's a bunch of pretty plants and sunny down here? Christian?
Because the sun and because it has good weather.
It has good weather, right? And it's down by what? By, what's that called? The ocean, right? Okay, so this would be a separate area because it's so warm and it's got nice weather. And it's much different than up in the mountains, right? Okay. Dory, you have something to say?
On the other map, I don't see Canada.
That's because we're just talking about the United States right now, okay? Alright, so we're going to go a little bit more in depth. So, first, the Northeast region. Okay, that's also called New England because it was the original 13 colonies. So when our country was first formed, these were the first colonies that were formed. None of this well, it was there, it just wasn't discovered yet. Okay, so that's called the New England colonies. Okay. All right, Midwest. We should know a little bit about the Midwest because we live here, right?
Yeah.
It has the Great Lakes. Can anybody name one of the lakes? Ashley?
The Atlantic Ocean.
We're talking about the Great Lakes. What big lake do we live by?
Lake Michigan.
Lake Michigan, right? Does anybody know any other names? Jay?
Lake Superior.
Lake Superior. Dakota?
Lake Otter.
Lake what?
Otter.
Is it on Lake Ontario?
Yes.
Yeah, Lake Ontario. Nice guess. Finny?
Lake Erie.
Lake Erie. And then there's one more I think we're missing. Did anybody say Lake Huron? Okay. Okay, so those are all right up here. So that's in the Midwest, okay? And what is our weather like here? Does it change? Does it stay the same?
No.
It changes all the time, right? What's it like in the winter? winter?
Cold.
Cold and
Snowy.
snowy, right? What about in the summer?
Hot.
Very hot, right? And then we have 2 more seasons. What are those?
Fall.
Fall and
Spring.
spring. Very good. Very good. So that's the Midwest. We have a lot of different seasons, okay?